Thank you. And to share a little bit about us, the Center for World Networking, we're a licensed educational nonprofit, staffed entirely by volunteers. And we were founded in the late 1980s by students of Sri Yukteswar at his request. It is our honor to share the wisdom of our founding spiritual guide, Sri Yukteswar, via live sessions monthly and through recorded audio streams and recordings. Our mission is to network and support individuals and groups in service to healing and wellness of ourselves and of the world. You can visit our website at cfwn.org and find audio recordings of our teachers' talks from 2005 to the present. Note that early recordings from 2005 to 2015 are free. In addition to hosting events, a few things we offer: a bi-monthly newsletter, The Network, that is published on our website and also available in hard copy in Santa Cruz County. We also offer other resources such as email announcements for our community and individual networking. If you're not currently on our email list and would like to be, or you have an announcement you would like to share on our website, click on announcements, and that will take you to the page where you can either subscribe to our email list or submit an announcement that you would like to share with the community. Note, we do not share or sell your personal information, email, name, anything with any other group or individual. Thank you. And now I'm very pleased to introduce Mariana, our event coordinator for the Center for World Networking and our event host for this evening's presentation.
Thank you, Rose. Welcome, everyone. And before I introduce Carla, I would like to share our upcoming April events here through CFWN. Next Monday, April 18th, from 6:30 to 7 p.m., we have our community prayer circle. And at 7:30 p.m., we have the message and teaching from Swami Sri Yukteswar. And then on Monday, April 25th, we have a mystical, magical, musical journey with our webmaster, Ray Schaefer. So to find out more information about these events, you can check us out in the current issue of the network, our website calendar, or our homepage. And we invite you to visit our contact page on our website, where you could submit content for consideration in our bi-monthly newsletter, or to post in our announcement list. Or if you'd like prayer support, our prayer team's email is listed. Or possibly you might want to present an evening. So however you would like to interact with us, we'd love for you to join us, and we welcome you. And now it is my pleasure to introduce our speaker for this evening, Carla Brown. Welcome, Carla. Carla has been practicing laughter yoga since 2008, and I know many of you know her. She's a dynamic and passionate teacher, speaker, intuitive, and coach, empowering you to cultivate more joy, ease, connection, and resiliency in the body through emotional liberation, healing, and the practice of joyful embodiment. Carla offers weekly laughter and joy classes and trainings. And in tonight's session with Carla, what we'd like to invite you to do is have water nearby, as well as a comfortable place that you could either sit or lie down during the Savasana portion of the evening. And there is also going to be a movement portion. So you want to give yourself some space, whether you're sitting down or standing. And without further ado, we are very pleased to welcome Carla. Thank you for your yes, and we're looking forward to this evening. Welcome, Carla. Yay!
Yay! My body is so trained to celebrate the experience of connecting with people, because I think it's one of my deepest values is to connect with people. Plus, I get to see all kinds of friends of mine here. Thank you. I'm so happy to see you. New friends, old friends, people I haven't seen in a while. Aw, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. So tonight's talk it's very near and dear to my heart. And for those of you that meet with me weekly and you know a little of my journey in the last 10 years, shall we say, you know how the grief piece came in to my whole laughter and joy practice. I first started laughter yoga as a practice in 2008. Because I found that I was really good at being serious and I didn't really know what joy felt like, but I knew how to work really hard and feel super stressed out and worried all the time. And so I started seeking out things that brought more lightness and levity. But I found that I really needed to find it in the body, because even when I was in my traditional asana yoga practice, I was still thinking really hard. Am I doing it right? Am I engaging my bandhas? Am I breathing? Am I, all of the things? And I still had too much of my mind active in my body. So that's when I found the laughter practice, and it really lightened me up, because in truth, laughter is just like forced breathing. When we laugh, we exhale, and then we're laughing and exhaling, and then we inhale vast amounts of oxygen. So laughter is an oxygenator. It stimulates the brain to release endorphins, positive chemicals. It helps to release stress and toxins out of the system. It's elevating your mood. There's vast health benefits. It's also a social connector, whether we're laughing online or whether we're laughing in person. And especially laughing in person is such an amazing experience. And so some of us are doing that outside quite a bit. So I have found with the powerful benefits of laughter, I have been able to liberate my body from quite a bit of negativity, worry, and fear, and especially things like anxiety, which is an energy I've run quite a bit in my life since I was a child. And anxiety is simply no breath, and when we hold our breath. And for me, my coping strategy growing up was clench and buckle down and hold my breath and think really hard of how I'm going to get through this problem, and then take action. And for those of you that don't know, it was only when I experienced an autoimmune illness that left me paralyzed physically for about 18 months that I learned that my body had a lot of wisdom. But before I got to the wisdom part, I got to the anger part, I got to the sadness part, I got to the overwhelm and the self-deprecating parts. And it was a lot for one little person to handle. But what I learned on the other side was that my body had and has, our bodies have a lot of wisdom. And so that's what got me to the laughter practice, to understand that it's okay for me to feel good, especially when things are feeling hard and overwhelming. So my laughter practice really helped me to engage my body in healing. Because when I would things would feel hard and sad, I would do something that, we're going to do some of this tonight. I would do something like, let's say, crying laughter, where I would go, and by doing that, my body began to move the energy through. Okay. Emotion, energy in motion. So the crying and the laughing all simulated. The body doesn't know the difference between the real thing and a simulated thing. So it's telling the brain, release happy chemicals. The brain is saying, this isn't funny. You're sad. there's a problem here, right? Because the mind is functioning on all those things and it wants to solve the problem. But the body wants to feel good. It wants to feel safe. And it wants to know how to handle things for itself, the nervous system and all the different systems. Oftentimes our minds are stuck in the past. So in my classes and workshops, you'll find that I talk about trauma and how to regulate yourself in traumatic situations, because when we get triggered, the past becomes present and our middle brain gets activated in our body and we start clenching. We start, I don't know, I call it like a energetic hernia, like energy just pops out, right? Like, right? Our emotion comes out sideways sometimes. And so the reason I love the laughter portion of my practice is that it gives me permission to breathe, to soften, to connect to my body, and to laugh and to release some of the stress and the worry. All right. This right here, this is our home. We live here like every day. We've been living in this body since we were born, and we will have this home until we leave the planet. And so it makes sense to me. It made sense to me as I started this journey that it's going to be important for me to learn how to live here in a loving way. But I wasn't really loving myself all that much. And so laughter yoga gave me permission to laugh, because the whole premise of laughter yoga is laughing for no reason, because we can, because the body doesn't know the difference. We release happy chemicals. We feel better instantly. We start moving and breathing, and things become lighter. So I kept moving with that until 2017, when my mom had a stroke. And within 7-month period, she passed. And I was trying to navigate that. It was a very complicated relationship. And there was a lot of trauma that was from that relationship, but also there was a lot of deep love. And I had a lot of confusing experiences, and the grief started popping out in very unusual ways, and my laughter practice wasn't meeting it. And so I would be driving down the freeway feeling completely fine and having no thoughts about my mom or anything like that, maybe 6 months, 8 months down the road. And all of a sudden I'd have like clenching pain in my chest, or just any kind of a panic or anxiety feeling. And I learned that it was my body's way of expressing grief, and that I needed to create space for me in my experience of the world while I was grieving. I needed to learn how to create space for that. And so within that year, one of my very best friends also passed from triple negative breast cancer. That happened. So they both passed within a year of each other. And then my nervous system was like, yeah, forget it. And I just kind of started really sort of not being able to do very much. I got foggy headed. I got overwhelmed. I felt heavy. I was dealing with depression. I wasn't wanting to eat. And I was laughing. As the practice suggests that the laughter helps to create those positive chemicals. But my body was so used to laughing, it wasn't using the laughter to help move the energy. It was sort of just a habituated practice, which in daily life, a habituated practice of laughter when you're wanting to scream at someone on the freeway can be really helpful, like a little driving in traffic laughter. It gets you breathing. But for me, what ended up happening was that I came along something called grief yoga. And grief yoga gave me permission to be in my body again, because instead of feeling overwhelmed or drowning in the emotions that were pinging all my past losses from my childhood and from all those things in my life up to that time, back in 2018, instead of being lost in all of that and having those traumas being pinged, I was able to connect, become aware, be with my body, normalize the pain and the grief, normalize the grief. No one in my family taught me that it was okay to feel grief. Well, they didn't really tell me it was okay to feel. Feeling wasn't okay. Nothing really was okay. We just stuff it all away. And I just wasn't that kind of a person. I wanted to feel, and I had this big heart, and I was always wanting to like love on people. And in order to keep my heart open, I learned over the years that it was important for me to not numb myself. So coming to that place of wholeness in myself meant feeling the grief also. So my desire tonight is to offer you an experience of, it's almost like a journey. You could call it an adventure, but learning how to tend and befriend this right here, so that it can be okay for you to have this thing going on over here and this thing going on over here. And both of these things are happening in this body that, you know, I am living in, that you are living in right now. It's all happening right here. And this feels like, yes, I want more of this. And this feels like, no, I don't want that. What I have found is this heart, this light, this energy comes from loving on this, because this is a part of this, because there's no separation. However, if we have not been given any tools for living here with this and this, this can feel like, no way, I'm not going there. And that's how it felt for me for a very long time. And so now what's going on for me is that, you know, sometimes we're going to practice maybe some gibberish, like, I don't want to, right? Like we can give it some connection. When we use words to connect to how we're feeling inside, and we express those words to someone else that we feel safe with, it creates connection. And humans, we are hardwired for connection. So when we connect with another person and we feel seen and we feel heard, and we begin to articulate what our needs are, even if we don't know what they are, we can get them reflected back and eventually maybe learn what we need. Once we do that, our nervous system starts to calm down, because that's a primal need, that connection. But sometimes we don't need to give words to it, because sometimes when we give words to it, it's sort of like, oh, I feel badly for them, right? Like sometimes our mind doesn't know how to separate ourselves from another person's stuff. So if we just say, blah, 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 we can have a fun gibberish conversation about it, connect to it, express it, move the energy through, move that stress cycle through. And with grief yoga, we can begin to liberate the places of loss, of emptiness, the places we've abandoned, we've orphaned, we've banished from here because I don't want to feel that. It's too overwhelming. Many times those orphaned parts are just coming back because they're wanting connection and love again. They're wanting to be reintegrated. And if we've never been taught how to be with them, then I don't know about you, but my go-to is like, I'm just going to eat some food right now. I'm pretty sure I ate about an hour ago and I'm not hungry, but you know, and we do, our body finds these clever ways to just not feel until it gets messy. Like it's gotten messy for me with health issues, and we all have our ways, right? That we have our Achilles and it just pops out that way. So my desire is to create an opportunity for people to begin to learn how to tend and befriend this right here, and to connect to those places. Oftentimes I'm holding my breath. That's a key place I go. I'll clench my teeth, like holding the anger, holding the frustration. Anger wasn't safe for me as a child. And I've learned how to be in the experience of my body sensations. and how to bring breath there through expression, connection. And so what we're going to do this evening in the movement portion is we're going to activate our body's ability to move and to breathe and to connect. And then we're going to begin to identify places where we're holding and recognize the sensations, so that when you tune into this experience that's going to live in your body, once you leave this experience tonight, this will live somewhere in your body. And when the same emotion comes up, perhaps you'll have one little neural pathway that you can say, oh yeah, what did we do? What did we do? And then you can do that in your body. And you can begin to let your body know, okay, I got this, I'm with you. Like the mind and the body can work as allies. And then, this is where I just get excited. Then those orphaned pieces, which are really like children, the child parts of ourselves, can begin to come back, right? And our adult self that knows, okay, I'm safe, even though I feel terrified. There's nothing going on around me. Whew, I can breathe, which is going to regulate your nervous system. Okay, I can calm down and I can begin to connect to this part of me. What is it saying? What does it need? What can I do to support it? And that's how our adult self listens and tends to our child self. And those parts can reintegrate. The orphaned, grieving, suffering, anger, frustration, sadness, overwhelm, whatever it is, can be metabolized and digested. We can integrate it back into who we are, and then we can use that energy to be more of who we are. And that sometimes it looks like, something like being out in the world and being more active in your community or whatever. But sometimes it looks like the feelings you're experiencing about the state of the world that we're in, instead of feeling hopeless and depressed and everything, sometimes reintegrating those parts of yourself that felt hopeless and depressed and powerless, really, growing up. Once you reintegrate those places, you can recognize, okay, I am not a child and I am not powerless. I have a sensation telling me that. My limbic system, my middle brain, is delivering my frontal lobe. Okay, that means this, but the adult self can say, whew, okay, I know you're triggered right now and this feels overwhelming. I don't know what to do really, but I can breathe, I can move, I can feel and connect. And maybe I can use some of those tools I learned, right? And then once you can do that, then you can begin to feel more empowered. When you release some of that, you liberate it, you bring yourself back home, you can feel more connection, more support, and you can begin to activate self-regulation tools in your nervous system. I don't want to really talk anymore, but I'm super excited about it. Does that sound good? Give me a thumbs up for those of you who are on camera. Or you can give me a thumbs up if you like using those little emoticon thingamajiggies. But I'm going to have you give me some information right now. And as Mariana said earlier, please make sure you have some water. This will be exercise, and so hydration is important. Also, please be aware that this is your practice. I am your guide, but you are living here in your body. And so at any given moment, you can say to yourself, well, that feels a little bit too much for me, or I kind of feel like I could probably give it a little more than she's giving it, right? Because this is your permission right now, wherever you are in your space, to let go and to let it out, let it rip out, right? Like, whatever it is, I will be leading you and guiding you, but you are having your own experience. So you can do that on camera. Many people are off camera. That's fine. Also, if you want to sit during the session, I'm sitting right now, but I will be standing. So I just invite you to tune in to what feels true for you, and find the place where your body wants to be met and wants to express. For everyone, it's different. And like Mariana said at the end of the session, you can either sit down or lie down. I'm going to be playing some healing music. I'm going to be bringing you into a deep, relaxing pose. And then that is the time. In yoga, they call this Shavasana. But really what it is it's time for your parasympathetic nervous system to integrate all that we've done, all the movement. Even as I'm talking, your brain is taking in this information. And then as we move and breathe and I keep talking, it's going to start to move into your body. And when we rest, whether we're resting, just lying down, taking a rest in the middle of the day, whether we're meditating or whether we're sleeping at night, we are activating our parasympathetic nervous system, which, by the way, lives right here. That's a major point for it. The vagal nerve goes straight through the diaphragm. We want to be able to access more regularly our parasympathetic nervous system, because that's what helps us to digest food. That's what helps us to sleep. All of the parts of our body and our systems are necessary for our vibrance and aliveness. So as you are moving and breathing and connecting in this session today, I will lead you into a deeper experience of the soft, quiet, gentle parts of yourself. And the more that you connect with those, you will learn about the messages that they have for you. So another thing I will say is that there'll be a Q&A at the end. So if you have a question, you can save it for the end, or you can put it in the chat, and either Mariana or Rose will, I don't know who's handling that, but we'll read those questions, and then we'll turn off the recording and answer those questions at the end. So for now,
I'm sorry, can I interrupt? There's, for some reason, it says the host has disabled the chat.
Right.
And it also says that the host has disabled my video.
Oh, interesting. Okay. So we will work on that. Thanks, Jessica, for speaking up about that. Okay. So, that's one reason I really love laughter yoga, because we can be doing things that we don't want to be doing. And then our brain starts to worry and stress out. And for me, my control freak and my perfectionist starts to get on gear. So why don't we just all engage in a little laughter right now? We're going to do this together. Like, why? I hate it. And take a deep breath in. Take a deep breath in. And smooth it down. We're simply bringing oxygen into our brain to calm us down. Take another deep breath in, scooping up and smoothing it down. So thank you, Jessica, for that question. So for the majority of the session, we will be on mute. Hopefully we can find a way to get your videos to turn on if you'd like that. And at the end, then we will be just inviting anyone to be off of mute. As far as the chat goes, I am going to ask that the chat be disabled. That the chat be enabled right now. I asked for it to be disabled, but I would like it to be enabled again, so turned on, because I want to invite you to share. And if you can't, for those of you that are on screen or are on video, if you are able to raise your hand if it doesn't work. But I'm inviting you right now in the chat to share some of the difficult emotions that you're feeling in your body with all that's going on in the world. So for those of you that I can see, or for those of you that can put a hand up, let me know that you can do that. I'm just going to open my chat and see if I can see those things. Okay, great. I'm seeing them. Okay, great. Sadness, confusion, heavy head, stress, uncertainty. Okay. Frustration. Great. Okay. Discouragement. That's such a beautiful word. Thank you, Freesia. Discouragement. Yeah. Numbness and apathy. That's such an important one to recognize. When we start to feel numbness, some part of our nervous system can get overwhelmed, and numbness is a way to handle that. Okay. So numbness and apathy. I'm writing these down on my own separate piece of paper because I want to be able to use them during our session. Okay. So we have emotional disconnection from, I'm guessing that's from self and others. Or just maybe from self. Okay, overwhelm. Let's see, disbelief. That's a beautiful one. Overwhelm. What else do we have? Fear of the unknown. Beautiful. All right. Keep them coming. Hopelessness. That is a very familiar one. Frustration, not being able to do anything. Yeah, right? I know, feeling like I'm helpless. This feels hopeless, and there's frustration. What can I do, right? What can I do? Okay. Overwhelm, grief, and fear. Yeah, grief and fear. Thank you so much. These are so great. Let's see. Triggered. Nice. Yep. That's great. And that's good anger energy we can use to channel into things. But if it gets turned inward, then it can just overwhelm us. Okay. Grief from sudden loss, right? And there's some shock trauma right there. When we have a sudden loss, there's a shock in our nervous system. So I really appreciate that you put that one in there. So great. I think, Lenora, that says outrage. I'm guessing that means outrage. So I'm going to write outrage down, uncertainty, right? Okay. Despair. All right, great. Let's see, make sure I got everything. And Meg was giving us a heavy head. So that's a sensation. So now I'd actually invite you to write the sensations that you're experiencing. So heavy head is going to be one of those. What are the sensations you're experiencing in your body right now? And some people might be experiencing joy or lightness. So this is a place for everything. So just welcome it in. Let's see what we have. Okay. So there's the numbness, stabbing pains. Great. I know that that's not, I'm not saying that it's great, but this is great. Tight shoulders. Okay. Lethargy. Shakiness. All right. Fatigue, hard to move. So that would be like heaviness, headaches, void. That's a good coping strategy, especially when we're children, when there's been shock trauma and we're children and no one's giving us any way to deal with things. Because a lot of adults don't know. No one ever taught them. Cold and tingly. Okay. Jittery in chest. All right. Jittery. All right. I think I got the ones up there. Heaviness, hard to move, shakiness, lethargy, tight shoulders, stabbing pain, cold and tingly, void, headaches, wanting to dissociate. Such a great coping strategy, right? It's so true. There's just too much to deal with. Right, exactly. And exhaustion is definitely going to come up because if we have to keep trying to navigate this with no tools, we just get exhausted. And sleep is a really great way to regulate the nervous system. Okay, there's the anxiety. And so wherever the anxiety is in the body, what's the sensation? Tired eyes is a really good one. Downturned face. So again, heaviness, shortness of breath. Right. And shortness of breath can come when there's extreme grief that's so shocking that we can't feel it. There's actually a yogic breath that goes, And that can help to access the part of the shock that wants to feel but doesn't know how. So we're going to do some of that. Fatigue, anxiety, hard to breathe, unmotivated, lethargy. Thank you, Elle. Exhaustion. So tightness in chest, tightness. So the exhaustion can show up as like heaviness, like lethargy, all of that. Okay, great. So we've got that. And jaw. Mine shows up in the jaw also. Depressed and withdrawn. Yep. Okay. Shallow breathing. Yes. Okay. So we are, let's see if I got, yeah. Okay. So we are 27 people here. We are 27 people. And honestly, I'm not really too good with statistics like this, but I know that there's probably at least like 6 to 8 billion people. Could it really be that many people on the planet? There's that many people, and you don't need to type in the chat what the correct answer is because it doesn't matter. What I'm saying is we are 27 beings. We are energy in a physical body having a human experience, and look at all of these things that we're seeing. Oh, and somebody's telling me I'm frozen on screen. Did it come back? Yes. Okay. So I think that came up for us before, but we're just going to roll with it. Ah! We can do a little frozen on screen laughter. That's anxiety right there. Let's do a little anxiety be gone laughter. It looks like this. We're holding it. We're holding it. We're holding it. Just let it go. So for those of you that have never done laughter yoga before, I just want to address a very simple thing. If your judgmental mind isn't already active from the only 2 laughter exercises I've done, I would be surprised, especially if you're a recovering serious person, perfectionist, control freak like me, who had a lot of judgments about all of this. But I will tell you that breathing is powerful, and laughter with breathing is the most delightful medicine ever. And we're not only going to laugh, we're going to also move and breathe and do some other things, but the laughter gives us permission to feel, and connect again. So it helps to thaw us out from that numbness. Okay, so as a group of 27 people, we're still 27 people, sadness, confusion, heavy head, stress, uncertainty, grief, worry, frustration, overwhelm, discouragement, numbness, apathy, emotional disconnectedness, overwhelm, disbelief, fear of the unknown, hopelessness, frustration, hopelessness, overwhelm, grief, fear, triggered, grief from sudden loss, outrage, uncertainty, despair, fear, sadness, disbelief, just from 27 people. Okay, so listen for a moment, because I get excited. This is what God made me to do. Those are feelings. Those thoughts that are connected to words that create a feeling in our body are strong feelings. And they send out messages to our nervous system. There's something wrong. We need to be afraid. They activate the amygdala in our survival brain that starts dumping adrenaline and cortisol into our system. Be worried, be afraid, do something, take action. And they also signal the middle brain, the limbic system, there's a threat. And then we start moving around, or we start shutting down. And then we take ourselves into those sensations of, because the body needs to put it somewhere, right? All of that energy moves into numbness, stabbing pains, tight shoulders, lethargy, shakiness, heaviness, hard to move, fatigue, headache, jittery feeling in the chest, cold and tingly, void and detachment, headaches, wanting to dissociate, exhausted, anxiety, tired eyes, downturned face, shortness of breath, lack of motivation, fatigue, anxiety, hard to breathe, unmotivated, lethargy, exhaustion, tightness in your chest, in your jaw, feeling depressed and withdrawn, shallow breathing, holding breath. Okay. Just putting that to the side for over here for a second. Okay. My hand right here is holding a space. there is a container right here, which I will teach you how to create. That's a safe container where this can be held, because one little nervous system running all this energy, since maybe you were a child, if you're a sensitive person with a big heart, is too much for one little nervous system to handle without tools to feel good, to feel relief, to feel joy, and also to navigate and begin to metabolize and digest some of this and integrate back into it. I read all of those things on purpose so that you could feel and experience in your body. That was a lot. It was a lot. All right. So we're going to stand up right now because I wanted you to be able to have that experience. So take a drink of water. And we're going to begin to meet this in the system. And if you need to sit down for this session, then you sit down. I'm going to be standing because it's just the way I roll. We are going to be moving our arms. We're going to be breathing. All right. And the more that you are able to engage, the more that it'll give your body permission to release. But learn how to meet yourself. Okay, that's a little too much because this is your journey with your body. I'm moving and breathing, but this is your journey with your body. All right. So first, we're just going to shake for a moment. We're just going to shake. And this is our body's natural response to stress and to trauma. So probably about 7 years ago, I fell down a flight of stairs, and I sprained my ankle both ways, and my body began involuntarily shaking. And it was before, when that would happen, I wouldn't let it. I would hold it down. I'd hold it together. I'd let myself know I'm okay. But this time I just let myself feel it. And my body literally shook like this for about 20 minutes. And really what was going on was that I was also releasing probably trauma from other times I'd fallen and hurt myself. So letting yourself gently shake like this. And I'm actually bouncing up and down on the balls of my feet. So we are simulating a little bit of what I call from Qigong bubbling springs. We're just moving the energy. We're getting the Qi going. And we're also getting into our body and out of our heads. All right. So feeling this for a moment more, just letting yourself move your body. And let's for a moment engage our smiling muscles, because we can. You will be doing that in this session today because the body doesn't know the difference. And if you have a pen around and you're having a hard time smiling, you could just okay? Because the body doesn't know the difference. We want to give yourself permission to feel good right now. So gently softening and coming to standstill and feeling the energy moving in your body. And engage your smiling muscles and do a body scan and check in. Just check in. Notice where the sensations are, all right? Notice where the hopelessness, the stress, the worry, the fear, the disappointment, even the rage, the disconnection. Notice where it's living. Notice what those sensations are telling you and where are they living. And while you're doing that, engage your smiling muscles. Oh, yeah. Okay. And so I'm just going to speak to myself, but you connect with yourself. Okay. Right now in my chest, I feel a lot of pressure. It's uncomfortable. Right? I feel that. What else? Oh, my jaw wants to clench. It feels too similar to anger, to stress, to worry, to fear. In fact, my forehead wants to go, right? That was my practice trauma response. What's going to happen, right? And then my neck starts to clench and my shoulders tighten. So where are you feeling it? Where are you feeling it, right? Take your hand there for a moment. Take your hands where you're feeling it and connect there. Connect there, all right? I know it's weird. It's so weird. That's why I said, put your little pen. I'm going to keep smiling, even though it feels weird, because the body doesn't know the difference. We want to bring forward those happy chemicals, but we can just be with it. And we're going to say to ourselves, you're going to say, I'm here with you. I know this feels uncomfortable. I know she said a lot of words all at once that just were like feeling overwhelming. I know that I'm feeling like I'm exhausted. I'm depressed. I'm in shock. I'm in denial. Whatever it is, it's okay. It's okay. Let your body know it's okay. We don't need to create resistance. We can just connect. And now keep your hands where they are and take an inhale through the nose. And sigh out the exhale. And this time, do it again. Take an inhale into the nose. And sighing it out, let your hands move the energy down. And this time, when we inhale through the nose and sigh out the exhale, begin to let your body just sort of move some of this energy. So it might look like, and my body just wants to start laughing because I've trained it to laugh at the end of a sigh. So and moving into just gentle shaking again. We're going to use this as our neutral place, all right, for a moment until we can connect more deeply and come to stillness. Soften your gaze, bring your focus within and feel your body. Your mind is still going to tell you things. Your sensations are going to create thoughts in your head. Be aware, just be present. This is mindfulness right here, right now. All right. So we are going to begin to engage in the practice of grief yoga. And I can tell you more about this later. You can watch things on my YouTube channel. There's all kinds of resources out there. So I'm not going to tell you exactly what's going on right now, but I want to say that your body deserves to have connection with your mind. So take a moment right now to place one hand on your forehead and one hand on your heart and be present with yourself for a moment. And imagine you were drawing a loop between your head and your heart. And so I'm just going to say a little prayer right now. It might sound like an affirmative prayer because that's the kind of prayer I do. And it's going to sound something like this. In this moment, I am learning how to connect my mind and my body. I'm creating a space inside of me where all things are welcome and where I begin to learn to feel safe with who I am, with my emotions, to love myself more deeply, to connect with myself more deeply, and to allow myself to feel and heal as I move the energy through. Take an inhale, sigh it out. And feel the presence of your hand on your heart and your head. Because what we are doing right now when we come into the present moment is we are recognizing the power we have. I'm an adult. I feel many sensations and feelings. I make up stories about them. I overwhelm myself. I think too much. It becomes overwhelming. And then all sorts of other things happen. And in this moment, take a breath. Sigh it out. In this moment, I am okay. Open your eyes and look around your space. Notice something of beauty or something that brings you joy in your space. Engage your smiling muscles and get a little Mona Lisa smile and take in that good. We're going to do this for 30 seconds while we keep our hands on our head and our heart. Take in the good. Whatever you're looking at, let it bring you joy. Let it remind you of good feelings. Let yourself feel good. And when we feel something for 30 seconds or more, we create new neural pathways in our brain that let us know that it's okay to feel these feelings, whatever they are. And taking one more breath, inhale as you feel good about this thing you're looking at. Bringing your focus back to your head and your heart and letting yourself know I am here with you as we move into this practice. We're making a commitment to ourselves. All right, releasing your hands, gently shaking like we were doing, whether you're seated or standing, we're gently just shaking. We're just activating the chi to move and to really begin to explore what it feels like to just live in this beautiful body right here, right now. This is where you live. It's great. It's amazing. Yeah, we have eyes, we have ears, we have a mouth, we have a nose, all kinds of great things. We learn to feel good about this. We harness the energy. We harness the energy. So feeling your body coming to neutral for a moment. Feeling your body in the stillness. All right. So we're going to begin with a breath of joy. 3 quick inhales through the nose and a quick exhale through the mouth with a ha, engaging the diaphragm. So the movement looks like this. It's a sniff, 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 and ha. Sniffing in through the nose. So just do the best you can. Follow along, whatever feels right for you. Here we go. Ha. 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 Engaging your smiling muscles if you can. Ha. 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 Last time. Ha. Shaking it out. Engaging a body scan, just checking in. Notice how you're feeling. Smiling muscles engaged. Just noticing. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to begin to identify wherever the pain is. For me, a lot in the shoulders and the jaw. We're going to make a kind of a ball of pain. Just bring the pain. Imagine, we're using our imagination just to bring the pain wherever it's being held, in the back, in the pelvis, in the legs, in the arms, the joints. Maybe it's just in the head, the shoulders. Just adding to this pain ball right here in front of us. All right. Okay, and we're just going to get to this place where we feel this ball of pain and just take a look at it like you were a witness, okay? Bringing awareness and connection to this part of you that is suffering, that's in pain. And what we're going to do is just notice the texture, notice the color, notice the form, notice all these things. Is it spiky? What's going on with it? This is you learning to connect to the energy within you. And this is just one way. This is just one way. So being there with it, and perhaps this pain ball represents something really hard in your life, whether it's a work thing or a personal thing or a huge loss or just what's going on in our world and the feeling of disempowerment and hopelessness and helplessness, whatever it is, all right? Because once we begin to metabolize and digest this energy, we liberate ourselves and we empower ourselves to think more clearly. When we don't hold it all right here and we let it out, then we can be clear about what we can do. We can actually take action. So here's this pain ball right here. What we're going to do is we're going to take these little fingertips right here. We're going to pull just a little bit towards us as we inhale. And then we're going to hold our breath and punch, or you can breathe and punch, but we're going to punch until we can't punch anymore. And then we're going to let it go. So just follow along with me, whatever feels right. We're going to do this for a few times. So here we go. Inhaling, bringing a little bit of this pain, the suffering to you, and punch it out, punch it out. Allow yourself to release, to break it apart, to let it go. Punching it, punching it, punching it, punching it. Ha. Take a breath. Let's do it again. Inhale. And punching it out, punching it out. You could release the anger, the energies, the resentments, the frustrations, the overwhelm. Just punch it out, break it apart, let it go, release it. Okay. Here, we're going to do that one more time. Inhale, bringing a little towards you, metabolizing and digesting some of this pain and frustration. Punching it up, letting it go. And we're going to just take some deep inhales, engaging your smiling muscles because you can. Inhale, bringing in that fresh energy. Again, deep inhale. Taking yourself to a place. This is called self-compassion. It might be your hands on your heart, or a hand on your heart and on your face, or perhaps your hands are on your arms and you're hugging yourself. But wherever it is for you, soften your gaze or close your eyes and come within to yourself for a moment. And just be present with yourself. We're learning how to normalize pain and suffering because it's a part of our human experience. We're learning how to accept and receive ourselves, whether we're going through something that we have judged is not as bad as someone else, or whether we're going through something that everybody says is so horrific, whatever it, our judgmental mind does not need to be involved in our feelings. So just be with yourself for a moment. And allowing these words to wash over you, or whatever words feel true for where you're at right now. They could sound something like, oh, I'm suffering. I'm suffering. I'm carrying a lot of pain. Sometimes it can overwhelm me. Sometimes I feel shut down and disconnected. Take a breath. But I am not alone in this. I am not alone in this. Right now, I'm in a room. There's 27 of us, and we're here together. Even if we're in a Zoom room, we're here together. And there are a lot of people suffering right now, so I'm not alone. Take a breath. And this too shall pass. I know enough about life to know that things get easy and things get hard. So I know that in this moment or other moments, it might be harder, it might be easier, and it will pass. And sometimes it feels really hard and really overwhelming. Take a breath. And taking a moment to be in the silence and the stillness, just to feel yourself, you and you connecting to you. And opening your eyes, bringing your awareness back into the room. Okay, so now we're just going to begin to meet a little bit more of the emotion that can get stuck. So for me, anger was not an okay emotion, but I clenched a lot of my jaw because I actually had a lot of anger. And I would also clench in my solar plexus. So we're going to do, this is fine to do sitting or standing. We're going to do a little bit of wood chopper. Okay. And so as standing, my feet are more than hip width apart. My knees are bent. I'm kind of sinking in the pelvis. My hands are clasped. As we inhale, we're going to reach the hands up. And we're going to bring them down quickly with an exhale. If you're seated, just make sure you have space in front of you to bring your hands down, but always supporting your back. All right. You are supporting your body because you're living in your body. So you know how to do that. All right. So we're going to release a little energy from this area right now. So make the sound that you need to make and just follow along. Here we go. Breathing in. Ha. 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 Ha, ha, ha. 2 more times. Ha, ha. And gently shaking if you're standing, or shaking out your arms if you're seated. And then we're going to inhale, bring the arms up. And taking your self-compassion pose, all we're doing is building muscle memory. Engaging your smiling muscles. Be the adult self, the compassionate parent that's right here with you. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. Let yourself know you're there with yourself. It doesn't take long. The nervous system is so finely tuned that it knows what it needs. And when you're there for it, it responds pretty quickly, especially the more you do it. Bringing your eyes back, okay? So oftentimes when things happen that are out of our control, and there's a lot of that happening right now, and honestly, we're never really in control, are we? But we really, sometimes we can get words and feelings stuck in our body. So this is called the why, and we're just going to, I'm taking a gentle step forward, but if you're seated, you could just move your body forward a little, but we are expressing in as many different directions, in as many different ways that you want to get the word out. We're saying, why? Why? Do it along with me. Why? 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 Take a breath. Oh, letting it go. Connect to yourself. Let yourself know I'm here with you, right? The adult part of you never, ever abandoning the child parts, the scared parts. That's how you build trust. That's how you foster healing. All right. So now we're going to begin to release a little bit of this. This is a little bit like, well, actually, let's do this one. We're going to do breaking the chains. So bringing your hands like this. Many times when we feel powerless to know what to do and how we can act, and when we feel powerless, whether it's personal events, things in our community, or out in the world with things that are happening, and we feel like we don't know what to do, we feel like we're bound, right? So take a moment right now just to feel in your body what that feels like, feeling disconnected and bound and small and tight, and just feel that for a moment. All right, and that's really can feel really hard. So taking the hands like this, because I want you to feel that so you can also feel the sensation of liberation. All right, so this is called breaking the chains. All it is we're going to inhale, and then we're going to we're going to begin to break ourselves open from that place. All right, so here we go. Breaking yourself out. Liberating the energy. Ha, 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 and let it go. So one more thing that we're going to do within, this is the component in grief yoga that's called expression, where we meet some of the more fiery emotions and we liberate them. I want you to take your 2 machetes, and we are going to begin to break apart some of this energy. All right. And so all you're just going to do, we're moving energy. We're liberating heaviness here, but sometimes we can just project it out there. So get your machetes like you're in the midst of something just so overwhelming, and you're going to break it apart, letting it just go away. Feeling the power that you have in your body to create change by just letting yourself feel like you are moving it. You don't know how it's going to happen in the outer world, but right here in this space right now, you have power and you are letting yourself express it. Yes, 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 yes. Reclaiming those parts of yourself, releasing all of that. And we're just going to laugh for no reason. it down. Shh. Hand on your heart or wherever you're going, soften your gaze. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. I'm not going anywhere. All right, so taking a moment right now to do a body scan. Soften your gaze and feel into your head, your chest, your belly. Notice what the sensations are, what you're still feeling. All right. And we're going to bring a little bit of lightness. Okay. Now, if you're having shoulder things going on, you find your own alternative to this. But for those of us that are just going to play for a moment, we're going to put our fingertips on our shoulders and we're going to draw smiley faces on either side of ourselves with our elbows. If we were playing with grandchildren or children or just anyone who is playing, and reverse the direction. And take an inhale. All right. So this next part, you can stand for this next part or you can sit, but we're going to be witnessing ourselves or each other. And the way that looks is that you can just gently tap on your chest. And you don't have to turn your camera on for this. When I do this exercise in person, we actually do it in dyads with people. And so if there's someone on the screen that you see right now that has their camera on, or just someone's name that you feel attracted to, you can look at that name or look at that person's picture or whatever, and you can imagine that they're with you and they're looking at you. And what we're gonna say is how we're feeling right now, how we're feeling. And the other person is saying that too. And in general, what we're doing is we're witnessing. Because when we come together in community, we heal in community. And so much of it happens through witnessing, because I don't have the answer for you. The wisdom in your body has the answer, but we are learning how to just recognize I have needs. I blah, 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 blah. So let's just do this. We're going to do this. Okay. We're going to tap and we're just going to look into this community and say things like, sometimes I feel overwhelmed. Right now I'm feeling what? What are you feeling? Right now I'm feeling sad. Right now I'm feeling some of the words you brought into the space were uncertain. Right now I'm feeling discouragement and numbness and overwhelm. Right now I'm feeling total disbelief. Right now I'm feeling confused and frustrated and sad and heavy. Right now I'm feeling triggered. Whatever it is, you could even say it. Just bring it up to bring it out. Right now, I'm feeling deep grief. Right now, I'm feeling apathy and numbness. Take a breath. Sigh it out. And rest your hands right on your heart. Have that adult self come forward and let yourself know, I'm here with you. I'm here with you. And engage your smiling muscles for a moment. As if you were that mothering energy that was saying, like, let's have a bubble bath, or let's have some freshly baked cookies, or let's go play in the snow. Or what you can see here is I'm bringing things into the scene that regulate the nervous system, that bring joy, that are engaged in play. Play helps to balance us out. Play helps to regulate us. Play helps to lighten our load. Play brings us joy even when we're not feeling it, because it's moving the energy. Remember, emotion, energy, and motion. So smiling at yourself for a moment. You had a hard day. Let yourself know you had a hard day. You're having a hard life. This is hard. This is hard. So right now we're going to do a little crying laughter. What I talked about earlier, the body somatically remembers the things we do. If we become depressed and we hold a certain pose for long enough because we don't move it out, we don't bring it up to bring it out, then the body starts to take on postures, right? And it takes us back there over and over. We want to move the emotion, energy and motion, move the stress cycle through. If you're having extreme grief, letting ourselves feel it and titrate it will help it to not be so overwhelming. So this is a way to do that, all right? So we're simulating crying and we're simulating laughing. It's all, we're just faking it all, okay? And you're just gonna let yourself move through it. Just watch me and move through it with me. Here we go. And do this with me. Very good. Very good. Yay. Very good. Very good. Yay. And hold your arms up like this. Our bodies know how to feel joy. They know how to feel empowered, even in the midst of not feeling good. So engage those smiling muscles. You might have a lot of hard things going on, but just feel your body open and available right now for a moment. And say yes to yourself. Yes, yes, yes. Like you're welcoming every single part of yourself. Yes, yes, yes. It's okay. Yes. Take a breath. Inhale. And smoothing it down. Connecting to your adult self, to your child self, and let yourself know, I'm here with you. I'm here with you. All right, we're going to do a couple more laughter exercises, and then we're going to move into our deep relaxation before our question and answer. All right, so sometimes we need some relief. You know how they say on a plane, put your own oxygen mask on and then put the one on the child, right? So we're going to have a little laughing mask, a little laughing, like a, what's that called? Nitrous oxide laughing gas is what it's called. All right, so this is a really great way. And I encourage you to just kind of feel the heaviness for a moment. Let it be on your face, just the sadness, the heaviness, the overwhelm. Some of you said that you were feeling jittery, stabbing pain. What does that facial expression look like right now? Bring it onto your face right now, okay? And then we're gonna go. Take a breath. Feel the face, feel the thing, and then take a breath. All right. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to just expand the laughter from a little giggle to a guffaw. And we're going to begin to just feel where the laughter is in our body, just tapping and feeling the places where the laughter is. All right. So it just starts like this. It's simulated laughter, remember? Simulated laughter. Take a breath, inhale, smoothing it down. So I actually want to do one more laughter exercise, which is called opening your heart laughter. And for those of you, again, who have never done a laughter practice, it's going to seem strange and ridiculous. The key word is practice. The more that you show up, the more that I call it emotional hygiene, that you tend to befriend the discordant emotions and the orphan parts, that you bring yourself back and you learn to be in your body with connection and ease, the more that the laughter can serve you to just release the heaviness. And laughter is a great way to release heavy energy fast, right? Right, when you see me laughing, right, it's moving the diaphragm, it's yogic breathing. All right, so here we go. Hands on the heart. Just follow along. Take a deep inhale. Ha, 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 ha. Deep breath in. Deep inhale, arms up, breathing in and connecting with your adult self, with your child self, letting yourself know, I'm here with you. I'm here with you. I'm here with you. So we're going to do a final gibberish, letting go of any other discordant things we want to say. And we're going to move and kind of put laughter in there. And we're just going to find, this is one of many tools to just bring it up, to bring it out. All right. And then we're going to do some love scoops and bring it back and go into our deep relaxation. And I'm going to be playing some music then. So gibberish, made up language. That's how language starts. It starts on the right brain and then moves itself around, and we learn what the language is and we move it to the left brain. All right. So we're just going to start to like we're saying, and then, and take a deep inhale, in, smoothing it down. Bringing yourself back home now. We're just going to do some love scoops. Welcome back all the pieces and parts of you. Every part of you coming back home to you. All the things you gave to other people. And at the same time, anything that doesn't belong to you, any other people's energy, anything else, is just draining out the bottoms of your feet. There's drain plugs in the bottoms of your feet. You're bringing yourself back home and just connecting with yourself deeply now. As we move into our Shavasana, where you just soften and relax. I'm going to play some music. And allowing yourself to just relax. Giving yourself permission as you listen to the music to integrate and take in the healing, the release. Just allowing yourself to fill up and to saturate yourself with being held in your wholeness and in your beautiful heart.
I am a radiant being of light and healing. I feel
music, experience of the words, the movement, practice, the breathing. Allow it to soak deeply into you, trusting in the body's wisdom and intelligence to know exactly what to do. You can even engage your smiling muscles right now and just in a little Mona Lisa smile, allow yourself to just take in the good that's right inside of you in the midst of all the other things. There's good inside of you, good feelings, good sensations. Allowing yourself to feel those good feelings, and in so doing, creating neural pathways of goodness, of positivity, of ease and peace, right in the middle of the suffering, right in the middle of the hardness. You can let yourself know there is love here. There is beauty here. There is peace here, even in the midst of the suffering, even in the midst of the confusion and the overwhelm. Right here, right now, there is love. Right here, right now, there is beauty and connection. Right here, right now, there is wisdom and intelligence that knows exactly what to do when I just let go. And so feeling yourself surrendering and letting go, trusting as you stay connected with your tools, letting yourself know my adult self is here. I'm here with you. That it's a both and you can begin to let go of the things that are not yours to take care of and do what you can do for you and be there in ways that you can be there for you. Taking a breath. Taking one piece of final connection time with yourself and thanking yourself. Thanking yourself for showing up, for being present in your pain and suffering, and in your joy and connection. And taking those smiling muscles and engage that smile and direct yourself a smile of appreciation and love, connection and support. Inhaling, sighing on the exhale. Gently in your own time, bringing your eyes to the screen, opening your eyes. And although most of you are not on camera, bringing your awareness to this community right here. This is a community that has been around for a very long time. And there's a field of energy, whether we were all meeting in person or online. We are a part of a greater field of energy that seeks peace and harmony and healing and wholeness. So in the ways that you might exile yourself, abandon yourself, reject yourself, and all of those other things that we all know how to do in our minds, take a moment right now to just practice inclusion and connection and seeing that you belong, you matter, you make a difference. And the way that you can say those words so you can really receive them as you say them in the I. So you can say, I matter. I am here. I am seen. I am heard. I make a difference. Yes, you do. Thank you all. Blessings.